there. That's happening. Scratch the dog, because dogs are scratches, right? Oh, ah. Okay, everybody. Hello and welcome. It's Houston with a Problem. It's a Friday. Proverbial is hitting the fan all over the place. It appears as though Bitcoin is doing a big old crash today. MicroStrategy has been accused of selling 20,000 of their Bitcoins into the market, causing the crash. Michael Saylor posted a weird picture of like a sinking ship and him saving himself on a raft. Being like, hodl. What? Epstein email release is still dominating the news cycle as more revelations come out, as people skim them and figure out who's behind different accounts. And it appears that Epstein wasn't just, being a pervy, gross, disgusting human being. He was also working as an intelligence operative of sorts, helping overthrow governments and pass information to other governments about what's going on. He and Bannon had a conversation about the overthrow of the Slovak government and how they were going to do it, and then it was going to happen soon, and then 6 hours later, it collapsed. It was also revealed that Epstein was in contact with Russian operatives and officials to pass dirt about Donald Trump to those officials so they could control him. So the whole Russia thing appears to be true. What's happening? AI bubble. If it's not in the process of popping, it is certainly threatening. So Cisco's down 30% in the last couple of weeks. That's a big deal because remember, Ellison is who just bought Paramount TikTok, right? And the main beef of their company is Cisco Systems, which provides routers and switches and basically runs the entire internet. Conversely, Homeland Security's Cisco switches are getting hacked by China like crazy because Kristi Noem hasn't put anybody on it to stop that. So, oops. And if you are an investor in Beyond Meats, you are boned. Absolutely boned. Beyond Meats announced they're going to up their total shares to 3 billion with a reverse split in the future. So basically, they're going to Adam Aaron you, Mullen Motors you. It looks like the hedge funds have steep and deep control of Beyond Meat at this point. And they might produce a viable product that people enjoy, but as an investment apparatus, it is a terrible, terrible investment in the future. So you're about to get absolutely hosed on Beyond Meats if you are investing in them, because they're going to dilute by billions. And then they're going to do a reverse split, and your stock's going to be worth like 1% of what it is today. So get out while you still can is what I would do. So I'm going to click this intro, and then I'm going to open that door because that stupid cat is clawing at it. I'll be right back.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Houston, we have a problem.
He's here. Don't you fucking... don't stop. Back behind there and I can't get it now. Stupid magnet dropping son of a bitch. Well, monster. It is day 7 of Shiny Shirt Week, the longest week of the year. This one's a little hard to see because it's a little subtle, but we get in there, you can see all the silver threads inside this bad boy, right? Ooh, look at that. So, day 7 of Shiny Shirt Week, the longest week of the year. We got more shine for you. Cat, stop being a monster. Turn around. Just be stoic. Be like one of those stoic cats. Can you do that? Can you do that, fatty? Don't call him fatty. He's lost 7 pounds since March. He's not that fat anymore. But he will always be the fat cat. Super chat. Juice Mammy, who's Bubba? Oh yeah, it's another thing in Epstein files is that Jeffrey Epstein's brother Mark and he were discussing, perhaps joking, perhaps insinuating, that there is photograph or video evidence of Donald Trump blowing Bill Clinton. based upon calling him Bubba, which was a nickname of his. So, did Donald Trump give Bill Clinton a BJ? And do the Russians have it? Interesting. So, Michael Haight was first. Kelly Reed was second. Kelly Reed says, happy birthday, Houston. Verizon to cut 15,000 in its largest layoff ever. Reverse repo hits 1.5 billion, lowest ever. You're wrong, because apparently Verizon's firing 20,000 people. So 15,000 was the rumor. 20,000 appears to be the actual number that they're getting rid of, which is 20% of their entire workforce of 100,000 people. So, damn. And my guess is it's probably customer representative people that are going to be replaced by AI. That's going to make their already terrible customer experience even worse. So at some point, it's going to be all the companies that adopted AI for everything, and then the one company who still has human beings getting all the business because people just cannot function with AI fucking everything up. So, Michael Haight also says, beyond AMC, Mullen, your choice. The reverse split monsters, man. Just. So, it sucks. Right, Cat? Mark Alava, 5th. 1, 2, 3. You're 4th. ECB. A JPM DOJ investigation announcement. Oh, yes. Yes. So, Pam Bondi learned the hard way that if you halt an investigation, you close an investigation, all of the information that was being held back because there's a criminal investigation going on gets released. And so Donald Trump today on Truth Social was like, Pam Bondi, I need you to investigate Epstein and Democrats. And so now supposedly that will tighten up all the information so it can't be released again. And JP Morgan is part of that. So I'm sure Jamie Dimon's like, I will kill you. But, oops. So, ECB, when will JP Morgan pay us? I have no idea. Whenever the stupid bankruptcy court finishes their stupid bankruptcy crap, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure we'll be just like dust in the wind by the time any payment happens. Mark Lava, HW, are you interested in any stocks in space sector, and if so, which ones? Not particularly. Most of the stocks in the space sector are for like little companies that will, get some satellites into orbit. We got plenty of those. If I could get stock in Blue Origin, I would probably do that. If you saw they launched their rocket, it made it to orbit for second time. This time it landed its booster down on a platform in the ocean. They've had 2 tests, 2 successful orbits. The first one, the booster didn't make the landing. This time it did, and everyone's stoked. And it's a pretty heavy lifter. The next landing is apparently on the moon, so they're going much faster now that they're started launches than SpaceX has with Starship, which has had 1 successful launch out of 13. So yeah, I if I were a person, I would not want to be on Starship ever. It seems like just an absolutely terrifying prospect. No, thank you. I'd rather be on one of the Blue Origin ships. And Blue Origin is focused much more on making huge money off space than SpaceX is. Remember, Blue Origin wants to go mine the moon. And they want to go mine asteroids, which is where I don't know, quintillions of dollars will be made. Just the moon alone has $500 quintillion in energy over the next 10,000 years that will power all of humanity. So focus on that. Mars is stupid. Mars will just get people killed, and there's nothing there of value. So, yeah, Blue Origin ever went public, I would probably buy shares of that. Even though Bezos is, an evil monster. But at least he has a vision for something. You gonna bite me now? You little biter. I'm gonna rip your little face off, you little biter cat. Rip your face off. Blah, 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 blah. ECB, GNS filed lawsuit against Citadel and Virtue spoofing naked short selling, going after blue sheets. Good. every company needs to be. There needs to be like a giant class action suit against these groups for that. And all of these little companies can just eat away at them for that. So, yeah, good. Turkish, feed monkey butt some stinky stuff. What did I do to lean back? And now you're interested? Is my arm going up in the air? Is it grabbing a big old plastic bag? Is it bringing down my lap? Is it going to give you a hunk of meat? All right. I'll chew on that for a while. Want to try? Try again? Yep, keep trying. I can rub your face on it. Yep, there you go. Yep. Keep trying. Yep, you can't do it. Can't be done. You're trying to pierce that thing, and it just can't be done. Try as you might, buddy. You're really giving it your all, but you're just weak. You're just a weak little cat who can't pierce that. So get some cat spit. There you go. That's how monkey got cat herpes. I know. It was. I should have like kitty-sized ones that don't take giant dog mandibles to chew, huh? Yeah. Okay. Watch out. And Turkish asks, "Where's the money, Hustowski?" Fuck if I know at this point. Bill Coyne, Epstein. Just Mammy, Monica Lewinsky remake, super weird. Houston, don't watch. Bubba in a blue dress. I mean, you know that there was that painting in Epstein's living room that was Bill Clinton wearing the blue dress that they found when they raided his house. So, oh my. Except that implied Bill Clinton did the blowjob, but Trump got. So, but it should be Trump in the blue dress, really. Turkish Michael Burry took a short position AI stocks, mainly Palantir, for 9.5 million schmeckles and closed his fund. I was reading something yesterday about him closing his fund just means that he is not financially responsible for anybody else now, and he can just kind of do his own thing, and that it makes it harder to liquidate him if that's the case, or put pressure on him. So far he seems to be up on that bet. Judas says he's reopening a new fund. Okay. Matthew Jackson, what banks are next to go under? Probably almost all of them. My guess is that we'll have to have a massive bailout. They'll pretty much hit every bank at some point. So a lot or almost all of them. Turkish, what's worse than beating your meat while watching Beyond Meat go full AMC? ECB Bitcoin nosediving, meaning blue chips next? I mean, it appears to be nosediving because MicroStrategy is doing a MicroStrategy of fucking everybody over. So, not sure. Not entirely sure, Kitty. Right? I want to see the Sunday night crypto drop. Those are the ones that were happening in 2021, and the next week our stocks went bonkers. So look for the midnight Sunday night just collapse of crypto, and if that happens, then the next day is covering positions galore. Mint Cornetto, hey Houston, great to see you live stream again. How that baseball swing these days? Weak, but in the 4th of July game several months ago, I did go 2 for 3, so that's all. That's the last time I swung a bat was back in July. It's I'm not winning any trophies. Let's put it that way. I don't even know if I can hit a ball out of the park at this point. I might have to get one of those like illegal college bats from back in the late 90s, early 2000s. They're like 20 ounces underweight. Then maybe I could get enough bat speed to knock one out, but I don't think I'm hitting a ball out ever again in my life. And I go back to the gym, get yoked or something, and maybe I can. Michael Joe 2UO. Hey, Big H. Basically gave up at work, only doing the minimum and keep getting praise and even getting sent a second laptop. I hate the business world. You're doing it right. You're living the Office Space dreams, right? Remember he just like gave up and they like rewarded him with like managership and stuff. You're doing it. I think I told you guys about my friend who works for a telephone company, not doing anything for the last, I don't know, 20, 25 years or something. He worked for a telecom. The telecom got merged with another telecom. His job became redundant, and for some reason they didn't close their office. There's like, I don't know, 15 or 20 of them working in the office. And weeks and months went by, and they had no tasks, and their paychecks kept coming in, and their boss was like, "Shh, don't tell anyone. Like, no one's calling me to meetings. My check keeps showing up. Just keep hanging out." And then a few years later, that telecom got purchased by another telecom. Checks keep coming. Name on the check is different, right? And then now, I think the third or fourth telecom has merged with them. They're on their third or fourth name since he started working for them. And 20 years in, they're getting their yearly cost of living increase. He's making a pretty good living doing whatever it is he's supposed to be doing, but he's not doing anything. So he and his coworkers basically formed little companies inside their company where they're making apps and stuff for your phones because, might as well get paid twice. Living the good life. So, money's going into his retirement and his pension and everything's cool. So that's the dream, man. Like he still hops on the ferry. He goes to work. He clocks in, and he and his coworkers make apps for your phone. Which I guess if they ever found out, probably end up belonging to the telecom company. But you know what? Get it while you can, right? And Mick Cornetto, RKLB on sale. Just wish I had bought at $350. I don't know anything about RKLB. Watch out. Get your tail out of my mouse. $ RKLB. Oh, Rockalab. Oh yeah. Well, it's at $40. It was a year ago. It was at 20. 5 years ago. 3, 4. Up until June of last year, it was $5, and then it peaked at 65. About. Damn, son. Cool. Mint Cornetto Effen's back. So I was like, gonna hold off. Yeah, the SPACs, they have a big miss record, but sometimes they hit really hard, don't they? Polestar, if we confirm that Trump blew Bubba, I'll be so happy. Can you just imagine, like, getting a blowjob from Trump and, like, the false roof of his mouth falls out or something? Just, okay. Just made me share your friend's MicroStrategy story. I won't name the friend, but I have a friend who is decently high up at MicroStrategy. And he came to my 4th of July barbecue. And, towards the end of the evening, there's only like maybe a dozen of us left. We're sitting around the campfire, and people are, drinking and telling stories or whatever. And he's asking me about the show, and he wished he'd come on someday and talk about stuff. And then he let slip that he didn't really feel like there's going to be a MicroStrategy come January. He's like, I would love to talk about MicroStrategy if there is still one in January, something like that. That's how he said. And then he talked about how Saylor was telling employees to mortgage their homes and buy MicroStrategy stock, which is terrible advice to give as a boss. If you are working for a company and this is like, dude, you need to like mortgage your house and buy this stock, that's probably one of the biggest red flags you will get ever. Remember, something like 70% of MicroStrategy's purchase of Bitcoin has been over $100,000. So they're underwater on almost everything right now. And they sold off 20,000 coins. Whoo! Yeah, that's bad. So yeah, cat, your tail off my mouse. Okay. Oh, reset. We go. Pulsar says also, yo. Mint Cornetto, Bezos and Elon have enough money to pay off families in lawsuits like it was paying for breakfast. Peter Beck I reckon 30 years from now, I don't know where you're going with that. Peter Beck, I reckon. 30 years from now? Peter Beck, I reckon. 30 years from now. Well, I understand the first part. The Peter Beck, I reckon. I do not. Don't you dare, you monster. Oh my god, no. Oh, I'm going to go walk in front of the computer so I can't see what's going on. Thank you very much. Just sit in my lap. Come here. Come here and sit in my lap. Or if I bring you drugs, will you just do them over here? Look at that. Yeah, that's what you want. That's all you care about. You and your habit. Pretty soon I'm not going to have any drugs to give you. They'll be all gone. There'll be nothing left. Okay, move your butt. Peter Beck, I reckon. Peter Beck, I reckon. Peter Beck, I reckon. Peter Beck, I reckon. Yeah, Bezos and Elon have all the money in the world to pay off lawsuits. I'm sure most of what Bezos does is settle. They probably don't ever let anything go to court. Elon, it appears, lets things go to court and just loses. I've not seen a lawsuit where Tesla or SpaceX or anything associated with Elon have won. It seems like they just go to court like, oh yeah, well sue me, and then they sue him and then they lose. And they're like, whoa, okay then. And that seems to be how they operate, which means they're paying out probably 10 times what they would if there was a settlement. Yeah, Elon is really bad at the court thing. SoftBank up 40% after hours. Is it up after SoftBank? Holy shit! What the what? Chrome. Boom. Done. Green. There we go. Close at 63. Up at 87 right now. What the hell? Oh! SoftBank just sold its entire stake in Nvidia. Looks like SoftBank is getting out on top. So wait, that was yesterday. What's the news today? What the hell? News. SoftBank stock. 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 days, 3 days ago, 3 days ago. If anyone has anything why it would jump that high after hours, 37.65% after hours. What the heck? What? ¿Por qué? Why? What? Why? Why is it up that much after hours? I don't. They probably have calls or something.
Houston, we have a problem.
Angry mustache. Okay, so SoftBank's getting out of the AI thing at the top, it appears. Maybe that's why they're up. Well, if anyone's got news, let me know. Mint Cornetto says SoftBank have sold before, and the prices skyrocket after, so not really that newsworthy, but more a canary in the coal mine, exiting early. That's how you want to do it. You got to pick the right time to get out, and then leave everyone else holding the bag. So all those folks who bought the Nvidia stock from SoftBank, they're the dumb ones, probably. Okay. Not enough. The world would move on to helium-3 in the U.S. will still be burning coal. Seriously. It's like if our entire economy was built on, I don't know, data entry, and everyone else went on to full-fledged internet and paperless, and we're like, no. Yeah. Fred Jones, Trump's dumbass just rolled back tariffs. Wait, that happened too? What is going on? I'm missing all sorts of stuff here. Trump rolls back tariff. I can only read so much in a day. Trump rolled back tariffs on dozens of food products. Oh, this is the ones like coffee and bananas that we can't grow here. And like coffee prices have gone through the roof in the last year. People were like, I can't afford coffee. And now they're like finally realizing that, oh, maybe we shouldn't tariff things we can't actually produce because it's not a threat to any industry or economy we have. That'd be the way to go. Super chat. Tending Oneness, Dems are so fortunate that Epstein emails are dominating news cycle as it should, but that dog poo given up speech by Senator Angus King that fighting Trump failed, F that dude, and every single retiring D senator. Yeah, I mean, looks like Fetterman almost died yesterday. He had a heart attack and fell on his face, so he's got possibly concussion and a ticker that's not working. He was saved by his defibrillator. So there's some karma there. But yeah, Dems are lucky that Epstein emails are dominating the news cycle. I need to capitalize on this and capitalize on it hard. And the Democrats, who if they've got people that funded their campaigns or worked on their campaigns or worked in their offices who are on that list in those emails, throw them under the bus now. Get rid of them. Be like, we don't want anything to do with you anymore. Piss off. This includes, luminaries. Folks like Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky met with Epstein a whole bunch of times and is like, I'm not going to tell you what we talked about. And he served his time and he's a good man. Well, fuck Noam Chomsky. Get out of here, you fucking weirdo. Like, the first time Noam Chomsky flew on a plane of Epstein was a 30-minute flight from Boston to New York to go have dinner with Woody Allen. Like, they're all fucking pedos. It doesn't matter what side they're from. Just get rid of them. Yeah. Jigga Shukla super chats. What's up with Seattle politics and Sawant? Sawant is a doofus. I would say she's a sociopath. I haven't had personal contact with her, but my brother-in-law was her boss at Seattle Central Community College back when Occupy Wall Street was happening. And he was hired on as the vice president of the college, and then the president quit right before Occupy Wall Street happened. And so my brother-in-law was the acting president at Seattle Central for that whole period. And I would see him on the news, and he just looked so exhausted. Because in Seattle, the dumb hippies here, rather than like occupy the financial district where, the big companies are, Russell Investments, all that crap is, they went outside to go up to the community college and occupy the community college. And my brother-in-law would be on TV every night. He'd be like, please leave. Like, go down the hill to where the banks and stuff are. Like, we're poor. We have poor kids. We service poor kids. You're blocking them from getting to class. They're just trying to educate. They're poor. Like, just please. I understand why you're protesting. You're just doing it in the wrong spot. Go protest the rich people, not the poor people. And the Occupy people are like, fuck you. Ah! And so Sawant was a professor at Seattle Central at the time. And his biggest gripe with her was that she never showed up to teach her class. This isn't like a big university where research dollars are coming in, you get TAs filling in and teaching your classes for you because you have grad students and blah, blah, blah. Sawant just wasn't doing her fucking job. And instead of teaching classes, she already had a problem not showing up teaching her classes and being a pain in the ass anyway. And then she came and decided, I've got an audience. So she would come to the campus, and she was part of the reason why the Occupy protesters weren't leaving the campus is because she was encouraging them all to be there and wanted to be their God King leader. And so she ended up getting on the news a whole bunch, giving raw speeches and whatnot, and used that to catapult herself into the Seattle City Council, where she was the worst council member ever. I mean, she would talk the talk of being a leftist and a socialist and things like that, but she would just destroy anything that had the slightest ability of improving people's lives in the Seattle area. And she would just get in front of the camera because that's where she actually wanted to be. It was eye-opening to see just what a weirdo she is. And so the love affair with her as a leftist quickly burned out as like actual, leftists who do things to help people, sort of went on top. But then she would just get more and more outrageous as time got on. But yeah, my brother-in-law was super happy when he got his job as president at North Seattle College and got to like leave downtown and not have to deal with that anymore. So there's that. Beyond that, I mean, I think her impact in Seattle politics is over now. I think now she's just kind of been relegated as like the crazy lady who yells about things and never actually does anything to improve anything. I never took a class from. I went to Seattle Central. I never took a class from her, so I didn't have any contact with her. I am friends with some of her colleagues who I had classes from back in the day, and they don't really have anything nice to say. And some of these people are full blown like Marxists and leftists, and they're just like, no, she's cuckoo bird. So there's cuckoo birds on both sides. You just gotta identify which ones are cuckoo bird, and you go, you're not gonna speak for us, and that's what you gotta do. Noam Chomsky, you're hanging out with Epstein, Woody Allen, you don't speak for us anymore. GTFO. So, attending one to Super Chats. Larry Summers is done everywhere. Any one of those emails should be buried under the prison. Chuck Schumer is bleeding staff. I'm sure more will quit. He won't run for re-election. He helped his corp overlords like cinema. Yeah, I think Schumer's done. If he does run, I think he's getting primaried by AOC, and she's going to whoop him. Absolutely just whoop him. So Democratic leadership is going to get an upheaval because Hakeem Jeffries is going to get primaried, and he's probably going to lose. So I think the backlash against the corporate Democrats is going to be pretty profound. And if a lot of these corporate Democrats get primaried, they could be out, and it could be a complete change in the party structure. So good. Entertaining One says also on a brighter news, jealous of New York City on Mayor-elect Mandani and Mayor-elect Katie Wilson for Seattle. Oh, yeah, Katie Wilson ended up pulling ahead. Bruce Harrell was ahead until on Tuesday, I think. Then all of a sudden, she's in front. So, way to go, Katie Wilson. So there you go. And just Mammy House to vote Tuesday on Epstein files. Ooh. So I wonder what that's going to mean for the investigations that Bondi is apparently doing. All it takes is for an investigator, like a person assigned with the investigation, to get called in front of Congress and testify, are you actually investigating anything? And if they're like, no, then shit will hit with the fan on that one. Yeah. Interesting all around. Oh, just Mammy, Bitcoin down to 94,000, dropping again. Not I'm off. What keeps saving this market? We went up over 100 points this morning. Maybe the prospect of tariffs being limited by the courts is what's keeping things up. I don't know. Impulse Star is asking what's keeping up SPY and NVIDIA. I mean, SoftBank just sold all theirs apparently, so I don't know. Mint Cornetto. Apple market was dying Friday. Apple was chilling close to all-time highs at 272. And Anonymous, who is buying the BTC, is selling? I don't know. Who is buying the BTC he's selling? I wonder if there's a way. I mean, I know the ledger is public and everything, but it's really hard to find out who's behind various wallets, right? But let's say Bitcoin is at, close to highs, over $100,000. Like it's time to sell, right? But you still have a bunch of cash on hand from investors. So you sell at a loss, right? To a wallet that's secretly you, just with a different wallet. So you maintain all of the same coins you had, but now you get to write it down as a loss and take big old tax breaks as a result. And you can say, like, oh, we've been buying all week. Technically, you have from yourself, from a different wallet controlled by you that nobody can know who's behind that wallet. Hmm. 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 Turkish saying weekend BTC going below 80? Maybe. Ludwig Vladimir Dorner, 3691. I've seen Ludwig in a while. Hey, Houston, why don't you just go short the market and AI pumps like Palantir? Still think Burry is short. Just went into black mode off public. I got cash now to get rid of all my GameStop, but most of it's in my don't fuck with things account. I probably will. I probably will start playing spy puts again coming up. I think it's getting close to that time, like I was back in March and April. Fuck around with those dailies again, where I can be up like 25K and then take a phone call and all of a sudden lose everything in an instant, huh, kitty? Yeah, those days are coming. Mincornetto, Apple buybacks in short. Oh, so Apple's doing buybacks again. It's one way to repatriate all their cash to the U.S. Reset the chat. There it is. Alex, you watching GNS? I see it in passing. I know that they're doing the lawsuit. I know that they're fighting hard against the shorts. Good for them. They still don't really have a marketable product though, so that's also a problem. Michael Joe 2UO. Have you met your new Lord and Savior, AI Jesus? AI Jesus is would be, yeah. We should make an AI Jesus, a hologram AI Jesus who has like conversations with people. That would be brilliant. AI Jesus church. Can you imagine having AI Jesus come and talk to your church? Oh kitty. That's what we're doing. Humperdoo, right? Project Humperdoo. We're on it. If you guys know what that means. Mick Cornetto, what's the Thanksgiving town party plan this year? Going to my cousin's, where last year was the first time in my life where I truly enjoyed turkey. Before it's like, it's turkey. I like the gravy, the turkey itself. Get through it, it's dry, it's stringy, whatever. I don't know what she did, but man, I was like, holy shit, this turkey's delicious. She did get it from a free-range weirdo couple. So 2 4th of July's ago, I bought a freezer chest because I got sick and tired of like having to use coolers next to the grill as I'm grilling. Because I'm grilling hundreds of burgers, right? And like using coolers and the ice is melting, and it's just a pain in the ass. So I found a used freezer chest for like $75, big one, and it's out in Seabeck. And so my dad, brother, and I hopped in my dad's truck, and we went out to go get it. And we get there, and it's this crazy couple who there's like hundreds of birds, just like ducks and geese and turkeys and chickens, just fucking on top of buildings and top of cars, walking around the road. They are everywhere. And so we get chit chatting with them. And this is the freezer I bought is their old, like, you know, once they like clean a bird, they put it in the freezer for customers and whatnot. And there's this little small operation. And there's a little sheet for the signups for Thanksgiving turkeys. And my dad's like, ooh, free range Thanksgiving turkeys, huh? It's very expensive, but you know what? I'm interested. So my dad took his information, and then my cousin announced she wanted to do Thanksgiving for everybody last year. So my dad's like, if you're gonna do Thanksgiving, I will buy the bird from these weirdos, and you'll cook it. So maybe it was the bird. Maybe it was this free range bird just hanging out in neighborhoods and like picking up people's trash or something. I don't know. But I was asking him, like, you don't have any cages anywhere? Like, oh, we got like a hen house that they go hang out in. And, you know, they wander around the neighborhood, they go wherever they want, and they come back at night every single time. I was like, oh, cool. So my cousin got a turkey from them, and that might have been what was amazing. So they're getting another one from them this year, and I'm actually excited for turkey for the first time in my entire life because it was so good last year, and I didn't know turkey could be that good because I've only ever had like the commercial farm, store-bought, big frozen piece of shit turkey, and not some fresh, free-range, you know, hanging out in the neighborhood, playing with the kids turkey. So I'm for it. I'm game. How about you, Stoner Cat? You want some? Yeah, you want some. Okay. Jess Boogie NYC, can DJT stock go any lower? I haven't looked at what DJT stock is doing. DJT. Oh, it's $11. Damn. Amazing. So just after the election, we got up to so May of last year it got up to like 60? Yeah, 61. Just after the election, it got up to 30. After the inauguration, it was at 40, and it's been basically down ever since. I'm sure it can go lower because they don't actually have a product. They still only make about, $1 million a year off of Trump's social. So Truth Social. They claim they have thousands of hours of like podcasts and things recorded, but they never came out with any of it. And so by now it's all passe because it's like it's supposed to be political and news commentary. And if you never release any of it, then you have no politics or news to comment on. I'm not sure how wrapped up or tied in they are with Liberty Financial, whatever they call in their crypto scam company. Yeah, I'm sure DJT is probably just going in the pooper at this point. Mint Cornetto. Peter Beck comment reference was about space flight safety when you said you'd feel safer on Blue Origin. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Mint Cornetto, the Blue Origin booster landing was sexy as fuck, though. It was. I mean, it's a tiny little barge to have this thing come from outer space and like even when SpaceX does it, it's still cool to watch these things come down to like that pinpoint spot. It's neat. It's really cool science that goes behind it. I just think that the Starship's going to blow up people more often, and it's so big it's going to blow up a lot of people. Like, they're like, we can ferry 100 people at a time to Mars. Well, 100 people at a time are going to blow up in our atmosphere as they get launched into space. So, yeah. Full star. It's talking about there's no support after 9.95 for DJT, so maybe. Yeah. Mercanetto, SoftBank news was the day before yesterday, third time they've done it. SoftBank have sold before, and the price has skyrocketed after. Oh, we did that one already. Okay. We got doomed up. Double intro. Juice Mammy, when Dario wakes up, he can fill us in why SoftBank is spiking. Yeah, if you don't follow Dario on Twitter, he does a lot of like macroeconomic stuff and a lot of stuff on like Japanese banks and Asian markets. Good follow, a lot of information. And I'm off. Interesting with SoftBank selling right before earnings. What do they know? Sell on rumor, buy on rumor, sell on news. Right? That's right, Katie. Matt Cornetto. Sorry to ask, man, how much hate have you gotten about selling your GME? Sorry if you have gone over it already. On stream, only saw posts on Reddit, see PTSD or Patty Hearst syndrome. Both as bad. Some. I mean, most of the folks who are pissed at me, their accounts are younger than GME's meme status. So most of the accounts that are angry at me, they formed between like 2022 and this past summer. So like you always hated you. I'm like, buddy, you didn't exist until a couple months ago. I didn't even know who you are. I also got from a lot of people who are like, yeah, I sold like a year ago. I can't stand the man. All Ryan Cohen has to do is fucking explain himself. That's all he has to do. Just be like, hey, this is what I meant by trying to do that. Oopsie, I may have offended people. It wasn't my intention. I'm sorry that I did. That's all I have to do. And people go, all right, maybe he learned his lesson. And they will jump back in. But, Ryan Cohen shitposts with zero thought. It's like, there's no There's no like, hey, there's consequences for my actions going on in his head. He's just unchecked shit posts. Whereas Larry Chang, I tweeted about this earlier, he has permanent LinkedIn brain. He's like if Confucius programmed a business bro AI. There's like no humanity behind any message he posts ever. It is purely like business dweeb speak. In someone commented, Jack Handy from Saturday Night Live. Like, it is devoid of humanity and personality. It is so VCs congratulating themselves type posting. And Larry Chang had a tweet today that I didn't really comment on, but I was like, wanted to. Larry Chang. Okay. Let's see here. All right, here, this is it. Okay, and I'll make I gotta control zoom in. There we go. Larry Chang. A good CEO storyteller has this mix in their business story. 1/3 what the company is today, 2/3 what the company will be in the future. Living entirely in what the company is today is uninspiring. Living entirely what the company will become isn't believable. A balance weighted towards the future marries grounded reality with inspiring vision. Like, fuck you, Larry. Like, he says as he's on the board of directors of a CEO who doesn't tell anyone shit about anything, right? When has Ryan Cohen told a story for any of us investors? When? I mean, look around. Has a story been told for investors from Ryan Cohen about where we're going in the future or what we are today? We've gotten bupkis. Bupkis. So is Larry Chang calling Ryan Cohen a terrible CEO and a bad storyteller? Is that what he's saying in this? I mean, here's CNS replying here. None of which are present with GME, uninspiring, zero guidance, no plan other than creating shareholder value, which doesn't remotely exist. You yourself are barely invested. Truth bomb. Truth bomb being dropped under that one. Permanent LinkedIn brain. So, if it looks like all of a sudden there's going to be shareholder value generated, cool. Good for you guys. But these dweebuses, man, fucking Dollar Tree CEO crap here. It's just meh. Meh, in my opinion. Meh. All right. But yeah, I've gotten pushback. It's like one of the things that I try to point out. Most people who give me the pushback are cultists. Like they're mad. They've been mad at me for years for pushing back on Ryan Cohen for like, hey, you just fucked over your shareholders with dilution. Your plan better be good. We better get something out of it because people are losing patience. And then a year later, fucking nothing, right? Except for like, oh, there were some bad mistakes in the past. Maybe. Ryan Cohen, when he invests in a company, he writes a big ass letter to the board demanding action from them and telling them what they need to do and saying they better fix it, right? Cool. He's an investor. That's what you should do as an investor, especially a large investor. You should demand better from the board of the company you're investing in, showing them, where things can go and how things will be future. But if somebody does the same thing of Ryan Cohen's company, if somebody invests in Ryan Cohen's company and asks questions of him or demands things to get better or for different outcomes, then you're an asshole. You can't do that to Ryan Cohen. You can't question Ryan Cohen. But Ryan Cohen can question whoever he wants because he's God. That's basically what it comes down to. So it's just, I don't know. The double standard pisses me off, and I don't agree to that. I grew up in church. I fucking hated the whole you can't question stuff thing. Like, it's a sin to question anything. Well, fuck you. I remember I had these Mormon girls once come to my door, and ding dong, I'm like, hi, we're sister so and so and sister so and so, and we want to talk to you. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Why not? I got nothing going on today. And I invite him in. And I've got over here where's my religious books? They're down there. I've got, several versions of the Bible. I've got the Bhagavad Gita. I've got the I Ching, the Tao Te Ching, the Quran, Torah, parts of the Talmud. I've got the Apocrypha. I've got the Satanic Bible. I even had the Book of Mormon. And I was like, hey, you read any of these? And they're like, we're not allowed to. I'm like, what do you mean you're not allowed to? Like, oh, no, it's a sin for us to, like, read those other texts. So that's convenient, because how are you supposed to know what else is out there? Right? If your belief system is so weak that learning about other belief systems is a sin, then your belief system wasn't that strong to begin with. And they're like, we can't talk to you anymore, and they left. That's what it's like. You should be able to question the company you're invested in because you're a part owner. That's your job. That's the whole reason why you have, annual meetings, is for the investors to be able to ask questions of the board and the CEO and everyone else. And every year we have a meeting. There's no questions asked, no questions answered. They do a brief talk about, things are fine, and then they hang up, and that's it. There's no meeting where they have to actually face us. We don't go to Grapevine, Texas, and stand in line in front of a microphone and talk to these people that we're invested in. We have zero power in this dynamic. So I use my power and I'm out. If volatility comes back, sure as hell I'll play options. But I don't want to be invested in the company. Fuck that. There's better things in life than to, like, devote yourself to an asshole. So I'm not going to devote myself to an asshole anymore. Hotbox Rebel, Super Chats. Renez is going to put $1 million into PP Coin. I feel PP is a scammer. Well, we are all broke and he's only making money. Do you think PP is legit or a scam? I think he started out fairly legit. I warned him about the coin. I was like, don't do the coin. People are going to hate you for the coin. Like, if you're going to do a coin, just come out and say you're going to scam everybody. Just 100% be like, hey, I'm going to scam you motherfuckers, and I'm going to make bank off of this. Just be honest about it. Like I said, we should probably do a rug pull coin, where we straight up, one person controls like 60% of all the coins and says, hey, one of these days I'm going to rug pull you assholes. It's your job to guess when. And you don't want to be holding that hot potato when I do. People will respect that. But, convincing your buddy to drop $1 million on the coin just to spike the price, that's the kind of thing that will get you thrown in prison. So don't do that. I mean, that company, you read about that company 4 or 5 years ago that was a sandwich shop in New Jersey that had a market cap of $100 million and only did like $20,000 in sales of sandwiches every year. That was 4 owners of the company selling the stock back and forth to each other for basically obscene amounts of money. They would take out loans on their stock and they use that cash to pump the stock back and forth between them. And so that sandwich shop ended up being worth $100 million. And I'm sure they're all going to prison for it. That is collusion. That is insider trading. That is everything bad you could possibly imagine. The one thing is, if PP set that coin up outside the United States, then there might be a jurisdictional, like if PP coin itself is in the Caymans or Cyprus or something, then he might be able to get away with that stuff. But PP bud, like, I know money's cool. I know it's fun to have money and to be able to buy things and do stuff like that. But you're flirting with some serious criminality, and especially if there's a change in government and SEC starts cracking down on this stuff again. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be real rough. So, like, Petting one to Super Chat. Seahawks have been on a tear. 100 season so far. They've gone knucking butts. Absolute, just the first half of the game, there's like, we will win and we will dominate you. And then just kind of coast the rest of the game. We're talking like 30 plus points every first half of the last couple of games, last 4 games or so. Sam Darnold has got a rhythm. He's got a hell of a good O-line. It's the first good O-line the Seahawks have had since they won the Super Bowl under Russell Wilson back in 2014. Um, I I not being a football expert in any way, shape, or form, but enjoying football, and I can throw a football pretty far. That's about as far as I go with my football skills. But I do believe an O line is the key to winning. It's the O line defense. You have a good O line and put your grandma in there, she can throw for 250 yards a game. Uh, it's pretty incredible just how much of a difference having a good O line means. And Russell Wilson's problem was he won renegotiate his contract after that first Super Bowl, and in order to make way for to be able to pay him the 25 to 40 million dollars a year, whatever it was he was making, they basically had to like cut, and they got rid of Max Unger and a whole bunch of people that were doing a hell of a job keeping Russell Wilson safe because Seahawks were like, well, Russell Wilson's got feet, he can scramble. That works great until you hit 30, and then you just can't scramble anymore. Taking so many sacks and so many hits that you just not nimble like you used to be, and you had to learn how to be a pocket passer. And Russell's too short to be a pocket passer. He's got to be able to scramble. So being able to scramble with an O-line blocking people is different than having to scramble because you're about to get murdered by a bunch of defensive linemen and linebackers. So, for 10 years, Seahawks didn't have an O-line. And now with Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold's not getting paid obscene amounts of money, that they actually afforded an O-line. And they have like a Legion of Boom type defense that's going for the ball and like knocking out of people's hands. It's pretty awesome. So they're fun. They're really fun to watch right now. When Tom Brady came back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he wasn't making Russell Wilson type money. He's making $20 million a year, which is a lot, but he had 5 Pro Bowlers in front of him, so he could get back there as like age 900 years old and stand and like go through every single solitary possible receiver and then throw to one. I've never seen anybody have that much time in their lives. And so if Russell Wilson had been like, hey, Seahawks, I don't need $30 million a year. You can give me 15 or 20, right? He would have won 5 Super Bowls in that time. They would have kept an amazing O-line, had the money to bring in excellent O-line, and he wouldn't be the broken man he is today, who can't run for shit. And that's the big difference. So Seahawks are fun. Watching Seahawks is fun again, and I'm here for it. Can't wait for Sunday. Okay, where am I? Fred Jones 1049 rolling back tariffs on beef too. Hamburgers for everyone. Oh yeah, he's rolling back tariffs on beef and buying a whole bunch of beef from Argentina, basically just fucking over his rancher voter base. Yeah. Ranchers, man. Ranchers. Ranchers are an interesting group of people. I don't know if any of you have grown up on ranches, haven't spent much time with ranchers, but you will never meet somebody who will bitch and complain more than a rancher. They absolutely, life is hard. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're struggling. Times are tough. Meanwhile, they're on 50,000 acres with a private airfield. They live in a 16-bedroom mansion with a pool and helicopter, and they're driving around a $150,000 F-450 dually, and like, man, times are real tough. I don't know what I'm gonna do this year. And all their food, all their beef goes out and wanders around on public lands, and they pay minimal amounts for that, and send their kids off to Harvard and shit. And they're still like, oh, times are tough. It's really hard being a working man these days. And it drives me up the wall. You meet these guys, you go out in the wild and you're mining, right? Prospecting up in the hills, and you'll come across, rancher. And they might be like spending the weekend sending their herds up into where they feed up in the hills or something for the summer. And you meet like the ranch hands. The ranch hands are the actual people who are getting fucked over because they get paid nothing and they live in like squalor and shit. But the rancher themselves, they'll come up and they're like side by side and just dressed to nines in $1,000 outfit, and then they'll just bitch and moan to you about the government, which pays for their entire livelihood. And then they drive back down to their mansion and take their kids to their, private soccer lessons or whatever. It's ranchers, dude. So now the ranchers all pissed because now their gravy train is about to get hurt because we're going to import a bunch of better beef from Argentina. So, oops. You voted for this, man. Tigil went to buy some GNS through Schwab, but they required a call-in to buy. Wishing I did because now over 30%, up over 30% in after hours. So they're jumping too. Currently at $1.22. Says Julius. Mario Valdez with GNS filing a class action lawsuit. Does that give others to follow suit with them? Also, how is Monkey Butt doing with 3 legs? Hopefully cancer free. She is so far cancer free. We'll know in about a month when she gets her imaging update done. And she's doing well. You're doing well, aren't you, buddy? Yeah, you want to come up? You want to come up? You just want to come right here and just say hello? Is that what you're wanting to do? Is that what you're wanting to do? Or you just want to sit here and get your page open and say hello? Well, it's almost going away time. So I'll do a couple more and then we'll do our going away. Because you look like you want to go away. That's the look I'm getting. So yeah, she's doing real well. She's doing well. She can't do the 30-mile walks anymore. So we do like 2 to 4. We still go to town. She still sees all of her friends. And she still gets all the snacks from everybody. And she's still loved by the entire town. So she's doing well. But yeah, GNS lawsuit. I hope others can jump in there. Basically, anybody who even thinks they've been spoofed before, they should jump in on that sucker and give all the details of what their stock has done. Get the blue sheets and etc. Pulsar ended up watching the new South Park. I totally forgot to watch the new South Park last night. Tonight, I'll watch the new South Park tonight. Poor taste in porn. I sent Chuck the Cuck a bunch of mean emails and voicemails recently. Good for you, poor taste in porn. And okay, Monkey, this will be our last one. Our last one. Julius is saying that PP lost his ass and beyond. Yeah. Once you see Martin Shkreli talking about beyond, get out. Once you see Martin Shkreli talking about a crypto coin, get out. He is pumping it. He's behind the pump and dumps and should be in prison for so many of them at this point. And if there was a different administration, he would be, right? Yeah. So keep your eyes on that. All right. I'll see you guys Monday. And there you go. That's it. Monkey Butt wants me to leave, so I'm going to leave now. I'm going to hit... It's dark outside. So, you know what we can do? We can do some jumping routes.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. Lil B got in here with 1 super chat right at the end. Regarding pump and dump, what you're describing is like what Jordan Belfort did with Steve Madden stock. Yes. I mean, that was a form of pump and dump. They were the IPO guarantors, I believe, or underwriters on that one. A lot of times the pump and dumps is that what will happen is you'll have someone who has a lot of money, like Shkreli, and they'll go and they'll buy up a whole bunch. They'll buy it up and they'll buy it up. They'll do it quietly. They might do it through multiple accounts, right? So that if they do any large purchases, it's not being reported. It might be going overseas. The reporting requirements are the same, but they're buying it up and they're buying it up and buying it up. And then they start putting out stories about how this thing's going to squeeze, insider, blah, 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 all these things. And they get the fervor up. So then people go, oh, wow, this thing's about to pop. They start getting in. And the price action starts climbing from FOMO and not necessarily anything else. And then you start selling it. Or you start borrowing huge amounts and then selling that, right? And you just dump so many shares in the market, billions of shares in the market. The price just collapses. And that's what you do. That's how you pump and dump. So, yeah. Who's Bubba? All right. I'm out of here. Bye.